You're in first again.
This is a map of the area that we visited last summer. The idea for the show was to go to an agro area, a farm area, and to do a show about the people there. And the place that we fell upon was near Clinton, Ontario. Now, if Clinton were on this map, it would be down about here, about 3 miles over off the map here. And this is Highway 8, which is sort of the main thoroughfare. And just to familiarize you with it, it goes all the way over here to Godridge and Lake Huron. That's about 8 miles over there. So what you have here is sort of a map of the community that we sort of lived in, and the people, the names of the people that we got to know. Now, we lived up here for the summer in a farm that was given to us for the summer by a guy called Ray Bird, called the Old Bird Farm. It was about 120 years old.
Well, my neighbor Don Law brought Paul and Ann over to see us, and Paul wanted to use the house and the barn. I didn't think the house was really in livable condition, but he'd had a look at it and he thought it'd be all right.
I had no idea, and Paul had no idea, and talking about it beforehand and talking about it in the first few days of rehearsal, no idea what form this show was going to take.
As far as I know, he didn't have any idea what we were going to do when we got here. And we assumed that he did. And he told us he didn't. And we assumed that he was lying. But he wasn't. He didn't know what he was going to do. And it just grows as naturally as possible out of the material and the people that you meet.
Oh, don't you worry about him. He won't bite. He's gentle as a lamb. And Harry Thompson lived cat-a-corner to Robin Thompson down the lane. Oh, yeah, I farm, but I like to collect old things as well. You take that crate, for example, right over there. That crate was brought in by one of the first settlers in Huron County. I'll show you an interesting item right here. I found this in an old Indian burial ground. Nobody knows exactly what it is. Nobody knows where that burial ground is either. Not even my wife, and I'm not telling her. Oh, I don't know. If I weren't a farmer, I suppose I'd be an artifact collector.
We were supposed to go out and meet people, and that was very hard because we were shy, and they were shy of us, and it was a bit awkward. At first, we got to know a few people who we immediately saw a lot, like the people who got us up there, the lobs and the birds, and then we just had to decide. Paul had to make us go out and say, you've got to meet everybody on the Maitland line and the other concession.
Yo! Mr. Merrill! Yoo-hoo!
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Hi?
My name is Miles Potter.
Oh, yeah?
I'm from Toronto.
Oh?
I'm an actor.
Oh, yeah?
Well, we're up here, you see, because we're going to do this play about farming. And we thought as part of it, you know, we'd go around to the different farmers and see if we could be of some use.
What?
Could I, be of some use?
Calf came wrong in too. That's the way human beings, a lot of them are born. See, of course, the doctor does that.
But I don't know what happens to them. They get turned around. And we've never had it happen here before. It generally comes first. See? Now you get hold of their feet comes out first. See? You get hold of them and pull right up. Whereas they come the other way, their hind feet are back here and there's the rump is coming out. See? So you have to go in there and get those two hind legs. The heck of a job. Right up to here, see? And it's a long ways up in there where the calves' legs are. See? Oh, I have seen him here taking hats under the veterinary, and he could go in there with a knife and cut them all up in pieces and bring them out. Yeah. Cut the head off. Funny, you kill the cow in there. But they have a knife that has a blade in here, and when they bend it out, the blade comes out. See? When they close it, it's in between the fingers, and they make it. And just go in there, cut away, you know. Well, it's a great thing to be a veterinarian.
Oh, no, did you, was it for me? Oh, it was? Oh, I wish I could have answered that. I know. Oh, hello. I'm Sally Bird. Naomi just got a phone call from me, didn't you? And it was I would have liked to have answered it because Rosemary, where are you going? No, do the dishes, please. Yes. Oh, yes, you see, during the summer, I run a single-parent camp, and it's always good to get the man's point of view. Now, boys, don't make so much noise. Tony, go to your room. Because I can't think. I have 7 children. Now, what am I doing? Oh, yes, I'm going upstairs, and I'm going to get you a lamp. You'd like that, wouldn't you? No, I don't want you to come because it's too dirty. You help Rosemary with the dishes, okay? That's right.
The community had no idea of what kind of a show or play it was going to be. The group moved around the community in pairs, visiting the people in their homes, and we're getting to know them, and turns out tape recording them and learning their voices.
She said she had a tape recorder, but it wasn't working. She sat down beside me and asked me about the weddings that she had been asking another neighbor. And different times she mentioned that the tape recorder wasn't working. She gave it a shake. But I didn't know it was working. That's it.
You'd think it would be hard to get people to talk, wouldn't you? But, boy, you'd say, what's it like being a farmer? Or just anything. And bang, they start to talk.
Name's Thompson, Robin Thompson, the township council clerk and the second most successful farmer in this area. Now, the fact is, a farmer lives poor and he dies rich. Most of the time, a farmer doesn't have a dime in his jeans. He looks like a welfare bum. Then he dies. He's worth, $50, $100, some up to $200,000, and that's a fact, and I can cite you example for example, up and down the line, one for one. Farmer lives poor and he dies rich.
Oh, I don't think you would call us progressive farmers. Of course, we've had a good many knocks, haven't we? We're Mr. and Mrs. Carmen Devitt. We live at the corner of Highway 8 and the 16th. We sold our farm to the young Lob lad up the line. She used to help me out in the field until there came to be too many groundhog holes. Should I tell them about what we used to do at the other farm? We used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning with the milk wagon, go around to the other farms, pick up the milk and take it down to the dairy at Holmesville.
It was the sort of thing where you'd meet one person, and they'd say, well, you've got to meet so-and-so. And especially with a place like this, which is just filled with lobs. You met one lob, and they'd introduce you to another lob. Pretty soon you had 15 people from which you could gather material.
Well, Lois was married first. She's my oldest daughter, like. Well, that's the way things happen sometimes. Faye, she's married this year. Well, one cute thing they did with Lois's wedding, they took her riding a wheelbarrow around town so as people could get a look. Well, now with Faye's wedding, well, they cleaned up the manure spreader. and International was written on the side, and they painted it red and white. Well, that's the colors that Trey wanted. I had to be careful with that because, oh, red's a hard color to match.